Hey there, agents. Jim here. I wanted to talk to you about the most important attribute, trait to have, to possess, to wield, to be an incredibly successful sales professional. And I want to start with telling you a story when I took on this trait. Right. I've been in sales for quite a long time at this point. I mean, I guess quite a long time. I want to say it's approaching 15 years, right? But I did not always possess this attribute. Right? I didn't wield its power. And for that reason, I was not as successful as I could be. And to be honest, it wasn't as much fun. It felt harder, right? And when I started my sales career, accidentally, I didn't know I thought I was hired just to be an expert for a very prominent product company. You probably heard of them, often ranked the most valuable company in the world. And the thing that was so easy about selling that product is because the product was amazing. The brand was incredible. And I was also empowered with the permission that I didn't have to present a solution to anyone who did not have a problem I could solve. I wonder where that came from, right? People don't buy things that make sense. They buy solutions to real problems that they're fully aware of and have an intense desire to solve, right? And so early in my sales career, I learned that there's nothing to present unless there's a problem to solve. But early in my career, I did not have to possess this very key attribute of the most successful sales professionals. I didn't learn about it. I didn't have to confront this reality until I was in New York City. I took on a new job in an outside sales position, kind of a consultant between contractors and engineers in the construction industry. I worked on, during that time in that position, I worked on everything from, rehabbing a gas station, putting new tanks in the ground, to supporting the substructure development of what is now known as the Freedom Tower, or the rehabilitation and restructuring of airports at JFK and LaGuardia and all these different cool projects, bridges and tunnels and a lot of cool things. And but before that, I was in the computer industry. I sold technology products, and so construction was so foreign to me. But it was a technical system, and I got good at selling technical systems, and so that's why I accepted this job. That's why I was offered this job. They believed I could transfer my ability to simplify highly technical systems to their end users, so that people would buy them and receive value from them in their projects. So there came one day early in that journey, I was outside, I was responsible for cold calling, whether that be construction offices or job sites, to generate new business opportunity. Never did that before, and never, planned to have a career in sales. In fact, coming out of college, I thought, man, I'll never be a salesperson, because I had that negative connotation, like so many consumers do, of salespeople, that self-interested, slimy salesperson. And so, I would never be in sales. But here, through my journey, I realized that money earned ethically is a byproduct of value creation, and that if I had value to offer, it was my moral obligation to present that value to enhance and better someone's life. One of the credos at the company I worked for was enriching lives. Like, we are here through our products and services to enrich the lives of others. And if I had value to create, then I should be offering. But still, there's this key trait that you have to have to cross that chasm, to feel worthy, to offer what you can to people. So one day I'm sitting in my car, trying to get going and be this outside sales guy for this industry, but I was just gripped with fear. So much so, it's like, who am I? I can't get on this. I go on this job site, or I don't have anything to offer to them. And I was so afraid that I found a tree to pull my car under, and specifically this is the north part of Queens, a particular area called College Point. You can look it up on a map. I found a tree on a parallel parking spot in the street, and shady, and I literally went to sleep. I was so afraid. I was like, maybe if I shut my eyes, this will all go away. Maybe it's a dream, a nightmare that I'll wake up from. which is weird. And I tell this story because I think that some of you can relate. You know, the impetus behind creating this video is I think there are people who are gripped with fear. And the way that this fear manifests, before I tell you how it resolves, the way that this fear manifests is that we think that we don't have all the information we need to move forward. We think we don't have all the tools. We think we need another script. We think we're missing something. And the only thing we're missing is one key attribute. It's the one key attribute that I had to wield, the trait I had to possess upon waking up from that nap to say, I'm going to go. I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway. And that trait is courage. It's the most important attribute for anyone who's successful in sales. Over time, it becomes a muscle, and it's just, a reflex that you have, and you exhibit the courage. But, so many people think that courage is the absence of fear, and it most certainly is not. Courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. One of my mentors from afar, I think it was Joe Polish, he said that, fear is peeing your pants, and courage is doing what you need to do with wet pants. And the thing is, if we have courage, we realize we don't need more information. We don't need more skills. We don't need more scripts. We just need to feel the resistance and push through. There's a great book on this. It's called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. I recommend it. But you don't need to read that book to get started either. You just need courage. You need to say, I feel the fear and I will dance with it. I will move forward, because learning is on the other side of doing. You can't think your way across the bridge. You can't study more. You can't learn more. You just must do more at this point. There's only so much thinking you can do in preparation for crossing the chasm from who you are to who you want to become and the value you can create on the other side of that bridge. But you must act. You must exhibit courage. If you're so fearful right now of taking a step, of picking up the phone, of calling that warm market, of calling that old client, if you're formerly sold mortgage protection and you don't know how to talk to that person, well, if we're honest, the training covers it. And how to get your next 5 IUL clients. We break down step by step with the different lead types, the scripts for each lead type, and what you can say to them. But that's not your challenge. Your challenge is to think your way across the bridge. Your challenge is that if you could just acquire some other bit of knowledge, that then there would be no fear. And that's not true. Because courage is not the absence of fear. It's feeling the fear and taking action anyway. And that's where you're at. And that's where I was in that car, taking that nap, waking up and saying, what have I got to lose? What's the downside? What's the worst thing that could happen? They could yell at me, and then what? What's the worst thing that can happen? I think that's, once you say I'm going to take action, one of the ways you can start to resolve or dissolve some of the resistance that you feel and the fear that you possess with some of that, you can minimize it. You can decrease its pressure on you so that you can kind of lean forward and move forward with taking action, picking up that phone, making that phone call, using the script or not. Because what matters most is that you do something. Right? But the way that you can do it is you can do something called fear setting, right? Go YouTube, TED Talk, Tim Ferriss. He talks about this. You can fully experience, step into this reality visually, visualize. What's the worst thing that can happen? For me, it was like, what? They would kick me off the job site. And then what? And then I would go find another job site to walk on. Well, how could I not get kicked off job site? Well, maybe I could. Why would they kick me off? Because they don't want me there. Why don't they want me there? They think I'm self-interested and I'm just trying to sell something they don't need. Well, so then I shouldn't sell them anything. Well, what do they care about? Well, they care about themselves. How do I make them know that I care about them caring about themselves? I can ask them questions about themselves. People love to be a teacher. People love to help. That's why one of our scripts is, could you do me a favor? Like the warm market script is asking for a favor. Could you practice? I have this new thing. I have this new this skill set and this tool that I'm really helping people do, help them establish a tax-free retirement or remove some of the risk in their current retirement strategy so that they would have less uncertainty about where they wind up, or they could, have less risk of loss. And so I'm wondering if I could practice on you. I know your retirement's important to me. It's important to me. It's important to you. It's important to me as well. And I'm wondering if you would do me a favor and we could just have a chat. I can kind of plug some of your numbers in my calculator and just at minimum just kind of show you where you're going to wind up. Do you know where you're going to wind up? No? Great. Let me show you. Let me practice. Can't buy anything. Can't make any major decisions. I just want to see if I can help. And in the process, you get to help me because I get one more repetition as I grow in my skill set to help people in this way. Would that be cool? Right? You could say that. You might be thinking right now, it's like, Jim, I can't say it like you. Oh, that's because I've said it hundreds of times and you haven't. That's it. That's it. Learning's on the other side of doing. You just have to feel the fear and do it anyway. And you have to say, what's the worst can happen? They can say no, And a lot of people, they get lost in these scripts and they feel about stumbling on your words. But if you just accept the reality, like if you visualize where you're going to go, if you had the conversation and you stumbled on your words, you know what the easiest thing to do is just to come clean. Hey, I'm new at this, and I have this. I'm a little bit nervous because I really want to make this work for people, and I'm just wondering if you could cut me a little slack. I cut myself some slack, and I could start over. But and then you just go again. And listen, you don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. And so below where I'm posting this video, may just put it up on YouTube as well. But below where I'm posting this video, I'm going to share another script and another video, just another variation on the scripts that you already have. If this is you, if you're stuck, if you're with Agent Shift and you're like, how do I get started? And maybe if you're watching this and you have gotten started, maybe you can tell your story of moving through the fear and doing it anyway. But the thing is you don't need more information. You just need more action. You can't think your way across the bridge. That means that no knowledge will get you to where you want to go. Knowledge is only potential power. It's when applied. You have all the knowledge to apply. Now it's just about application. So if you feel stuck, you just need to move. You can't steer a parked car. You can't make things better unless you're in motion. You got to do, and then you can iterate. But you can't iterate your way into doing. I could say it 19 other ways, but I'll stop there and just say, you got to feel the fear and do it anyway. You got to take courage. And guess what I started doing? I started just taking action, massive, imperfect action, and realizing that every imperfect step would lead to a better one next. If I just said, if it's to be, it's up to me. I'm okay with failing forward. Try, fail, adjust, win and lose and learn some more. But I can get to where I want to go if I just go. And that's what I'm telling you to do. If you're stuck, you need to move. Just pick up the phone and say, hey, I got this new thing. It's really cool. I can project your retirement income. Can I try it on you? You can't buy anything. You can't make any decisions. Heck, you don't even have to give me all your real numbers. I just need to practice because this is important to me. Would you help me? I just wrote a new script right there. You could use it. Or you could just be you and ask for an opportunity to apply this new tool and skill that can help other people, and watch how people magically see value in you just taking them through the process and then ask for your help. It happens all the time. People that they tried to convince them that they had this really cool product and idea, they wouldn't get the time of day, but when they held up that financial mirror through the income forecaster to them, they said, well, wait a second, I know you're practicing, but can I really do this? And then you could say, yeah, I mean, that wasn't my plan, but if you wanted to, sure. I just wanted to practice. It's pretty magical. It can happen for you too, but only if you decide to take some action. Be well. And when you do, come back here and let me know. Cheers.